Let's take a trip down memory lane and spill all of the small town tea. I'm your host, KP Parker, and this is Town Gossip.
Hello, my nosy neighbors. Welcome to Town Gossip. I am KP Parker. We have an incredible show. One of the best shows ever. We're going to be talking about Maryland. You might know Maryland from such things as Baltimore. Crabs. A cool flag with a lot of different stuff going on. Cluttered, maximalist vibes on that flag. You might know it from those things. I know it from a trip I took once to Baltimore for a wedding where the culture was so deeply drink heavy. I was rocked. I was rocked to my core. I showed up to a house party day before a wedding, which is already insane, quite frankly. Not to know what I'm going to do if God wills it, that I get married one day. But I don't think I'll be having a house party the day before. So we'll see what happens with that. But there was a house party. I show up. Every Maryland person has sort of 18 different organized games in order to get you so deeply fucked up. These are like professional poker players for shots of vodka. It was so scary. And it wasn't like, oh, let me just hop in, grab a ping pong partner and we'll just like pop it around and then see who gets to drink more. It was like, hey, we've segmented people based on where they're coming from. So you're coming from Connecticut, so we're going to put you in with people that are near your location. I was like, what's going on? Sorry. No mingling. If you're not playing the game, I need you to leave. Please don't small talk us. So it was a really intense gamified drinking session. And I knew things were different when at one point a person takes out of their bag accoutrements for drinking. Sort of like unrolls a scroll full of shot glasses that were engraved with his friends' names. And this is like, he brings it to the house. Like, it's like, hey, okay, get your shot glass, everyone. It was like a glass engraved skull for some of the cheapest alcohol I've ever seen. And I was like, oh, this is drinking culture. I'm having an eye-opening time. Was I having fun? Yeah, probably. And also, I think accoutrement in general, like, this is like when you show up to your stoner friend's house and they're like, yeah, do you want to smoke a little? And you're like, oh yeah, I'll take like a puff from a joint. And they're like, oh, actually, no, it's like a metal gravity volcano bomb. And you're like, that'll put me in a coma for 4 years. And that's why I'm a virgin and a Puritan. So that's a little bit about me. I had a great time in Maryland. I need to know more. So I'm popping it over to Courtney O'Donnell. Courtney, what can you tell me about Maryland?
Hey, KP.
Hi,
I'm
Courtney.
so excited to talk about Bethesda, Maryland with
Who
you.
wouldn't be?
Oh my gosh. When I was sleuthing on this town, I just want you to know I found some incredible things.
Okay.
So let's just dive into it. One fun fact that I think the viewers are going to really love to hear is that the second largest escalator in the Western Hemisphere exists in Bethesda, Maryland.
Are you shitting me?
I know, girl.
I fucking love escalator.
It is incredible. I know. Girl, we're literally going there.
Okay. Wow. Second largest escalator.
Yes. Super exciting. And that's kind of all I learned about that.
Great.
And then let's see. So there is an amazing Yelp review culture in Bethesda. People have some trouble with some of the local establishments. And one of the ones I want to talk about is the Chipotle on Old Georgetown Road in Bethesda. So I know you'll probably be visiting the Chipotle on Old Georgetown Road, KP. So super exciting. And I want to kind of give you a taste of what you're in for.
Amazing.
So
I made a reservation.
Let's hop into this one. So I'm going to do a dramatic reading of a Chipotle Yelp review from the Chipotle on Old Georgetown Road.
Okay.
This location is horrible. After the fifth bad experience, we need to finally share. Today, it was the usual negative performance. My husband placed an order online. I picked it up and drove the order to my son, who was taking class. I did not stay, but took mine to another location, looking forward to finally eating a meal. No dinner the night before and no breakfast. I opened mine up to find that I thought maybe the lids were just switched. It looked like my son's. It wasn't. But now it was 2 p.m. I drive back to my son's school to switch lunches. Traveled away with mine. I look at the name on the lid. Luke? Who is Luke? Yeah, I have a nephew in Indiana named Luke, but he didn't order Chipotle with us. Not good. My son finished school and did not eat. We headed over to Chipotle to explain. We were nice about it. No apology. For a moment, I thought the restaurant wasn't going to do anything about it at all. What? Ridiculous. I grew up in the USA under this motto. The customer is always right. Chipotle Bethesda on Georgetown Pike did begrudgingly replace the order in which they seriously botched. I think it's safe to say that we don't recommend this place. Headquarters, I do hope you're paying attention. I'm afraid I cannot give it 0 stars, but I'll give it 1 because there's a good bubble tea place conveniently located next door with good customer service.
Thank you so much, Courtney. I have a big, beautiful picture in my head of Bethesda that is only going to be made more vivid by our guest coming right up. That was the digital dirt. Thank you, Courtney.
See you later.
We have the very, very funny, the amazing, the beautiful Keara Sullivan with us from Bethesda, Maryland. Hi, Keara.
Hi, Katie. How are you?
Good. Nice seeing you.
I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah.
I have to say that I was so happy you guys mentioned the escalator. You guys have never seen an escalator like this before.
So, I mean, listen, I was taking the piss a bit, as they say,
Mhm.
but maybe egg on my face. It's actually very cool.
Yeah, it's actually, I was so happy that she mentioned it because it's actually the escalator to, like, in my metro station.
Right.
It's called the Metro in the DC area.
Mhm. You guys call an apartment a flat, and the tube, the loo.
You know, we have the Metro, and that's kind of our one
Okay,
thing.
good. Yeah.
I don't like you kind of projecting British values onto me. That's not what I'm about.
I'm an Anglophile.
But it literally looks like you're going down to the Hunger Games.
Wow.
It's so long.
Wow.
If you didn't like walk down on it, it would probably take you like 5 minutes to get all the way
There's
down.
a down and an up.
There's a down and an up. Yeah.
Wow. And second largest in the nation.
Yeah, and it's honestly kind of a little bit scary because it goes on. It's so steep.
Totally.
It's got to go down very fast.
There is a bit of like, if I was claustrophobic, I would be like, we're kind of trapped on this. I guess you can jump it. It seems long.
It's very long and not jumpable at all.
Okay. I'm sold. What metro station?
Bethesda, Maryland, because Bethesda is in the great state of Maryland, crab country, of course.
Yeah,
A shout out to Jamie Raskin, our congressman.
Yes.
You're doing the work, Jamie, and we need you in this fight.
Jamie,
so thank
get
you
on
for
over
that.
here. Come on the pod.
Get Jamie Raskin on the pod.
Jamie, quick.
But Bethesda is also considered like a DC area suburb.
Yeah.
Because we're right on the border of DC, and everyone's parents work in DC.
Okay.
As well, for the most part.
Okay. So you can commute in from the Bethesda station into DC.
Baltimore is much farther away. DC is like right next to us. It'd be like me going from like Brooklyn to Manhattan.
Great.
Whereas Baltimore is like an hour away.
Done. I've got the picture. And
It
could be fun.
No, you should show them the escalator.
It's
and
almost
the
better to
flag.
imagine.
It's a busy flag.
I really like it.
It's on everything too.
I really think it's very
Maryland
cool.
Is like
if you have a flag like that, put it on everything. She's got gorgeous intentions.
I think she's gorgeous. The
Beautiful.
implications of her design.
Yeah, Coco Chanel would hate that bitch. Take
No.
one thing off before you put it on the flag, please.
And they didn't.
They didn't. Bethesda, Maryland, near DC. Okay, I want to hear a little bit about the drama there. I love the escalator. I love the positive things. Obviously, Chipotle had the drama in some of that. But what is your hometown drama?
Let me set the scene in terms of
Please.
who lives in this town. It's a very,
Yeah.
very white,
Okay.
very liberal, very
Mhm.
upper middle class, wealthy,
Yeah.
affluent, highly educated area.
Yeah.
Also, one of the funny things about Bethesda, half Catholic, half Jewish. And it was
Oh.
like everyone in my school was either Catholic or Jewish, and if you were half Catholic, half Jewish, you were called a cashew. It was like a fun little name you got.
It's fun. I often stray away from kind of giving any names.
No,
to
yeah,
any-
exactly. And like I didn't call them
No,
that.
sure.
They were like, I'm a cashew, and you knew what they meant.
And you'd be like, you're allowed to say that.
Yeah, no, they loved it. It was very
Yeah.
common.
Was there Catholic schools and Jewish schools? You would go to one or the other? Or no, publics?
So I went to a public
Great.
school. I went to Walt Whitman High School, which is where our story takes place. So I would go to CCD on Sundays and
Yeah.
then Wednesdays.
Great.
It was a whole thing there.
Yeah.
The thing that I want to talk about with
Mhm.
Bethesda and the hometown drama, because even if you didn't go to my high school,
Yeah.
you'll know what I'm talking about. You'll probably have heard of this.
Oh my God.
I'm going to talk about an event that was held at my school every year called Brave. And I pronounced it like Brave because
Mhm.
it's spelled lowercase b, all caps, rave.
Be rave.
Yeah,
But-
but it's Brave. That's what people
Whoa.
called it.
Okay.
This was an event that we held every February because in this like very affluent area, all of the high schools compete in this thing called LLS month,
Okay.
which stands for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society.
Oh, okay.
And it's actually like it's a very great noble cause.
Totally.
It's a good thing that we participate in. But it's a competition basically between all the schools to see who can raise the most money
Mm-hmm.
for LLS
Great.
In that month. And there's tons of events like throughout the entire month. There's probably like 8 events we would throw throughout the month
Wow.
of February. But my school won every single year because of this one event, Brave.
Okay.
Which is a lock-in dance rave marathon we held in my school gymnasium every year. And every year it led to students losing their minds, outrage among parents and administration, and several ambulance calls.
And they were like, it's for good, though.
Well, I'm going to tell you the story of what Brave was, how it was threatened, and then how the student body had to come together.
Wow. Okay, I'm fully set. And if I may, the idea of a lock-in, oh my God. I only went to one because my mom was like, you're going to get kidnapped or something.
On school grounds too at night is like, what are we doing here? It's night.
Oh my God.
Like,
I've never seen you guys like this.
Yeah, I know, exactly.
And it's like everyone, because it's like you would have sleepovers, but it's like you wouldn't have sleepovers with random geography class guy that you liked.
And that was part of the Brave appeal. I will get to that. I'm going to first talk about the rules and logistics of Brave. So it is not only a rave dance marathon, but it is a lock-in. Once you're in, you cannot get out. And this is from 7 p.m. to 2 in the morning.
2 is when it ends?
Yeah.
Your parents have to pick you up at 2?
The first couple of years.
I wouldn't be going to that. My mom would say, fuck no.
Yeah, it ends at 2. And it was worse for me because I was on the student government.
Yeah.
So I had to help clean up after it was done.
Brutal.
After like 7 hours of being at this dance marathon.
Wow.
I also had to hand out burritos to the students during the feeding times. It sounds like something from the Hunger Games, but the feedings were when like you were given a wristband.
A trough.
Yeah, it was like it was very
God.
trough vibes. But once you were in, you could not get out. And people tried. There was always like 1 or 2 guys on the track team.
Yeah.
We were like, if anyone's gonna make it out, it's gonna be Josh. That kid can run. And they would chase them down. Josh got pretty far. They hauled his ass back in.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Josh, we always believed in you.
We always believe in you, but no one could do it. No one could.
God.
It's not your fault. You tried your best.
Holy
We
shit.
saluted you. And the only way you could leave early was if you had a parent note that was approved by the administration.
But isn't the appeal that you're staying?
Yeah, most kids didn't even do it.
Want to escape.
It's just throughout the night, after like hour 5, people would start going a little stir crazy. And and they also had other motivations for wanting to leave. The other important rule of the story is that alcohol, obviously, strictly forbidden.
Of course.
And they make it very hard to drink. There is police, and they breathalyze every single kid.
On the way out?
On the way in.
So you can't pregame?
So you cannot pregame. Your only option is to somehow sneak alcohol in with very little clothing and just like a fanny pack. Because this was a rave, and this was back 2015, 2016. We were going to American Apparel.
100%.
We were
100%. It's tight.
Exactly. Tight. All you had is a small fanny pack. Very hard to hide alcohol there.
How like buck wild was your school? Like for me, I was like, oh, easy. My school would shove tampons and vodka.
So the main thing that kids did was like hiding the girls had to step up.
Yes. This is where women shine.
Exactly.
You cannot take our tampons away.
Women in STEM.
Women in STEM.
Okay, so there's the you can't leave, and there's the no alcohol thing.
Yeah.
What else am I missing?
I mean, I'm sure no hooking up, no kissing.
Oh, no. Oh, contraire.
Oh, only hooking up, only kissing.
So here's the thing, is like everyone in the school attended.
Yes.
Right. And when I had a big school, I had like 2,000 kids at my school. Every year we'd raise tens of thousands of dollars from just this event. I think my freshman year we raised $60,000.
Wow.
And then my senior we raised $20,000. So like at least $20,000 every single year.
What's the money coming from? Like the entrance?
Ticket sales.
Tickets for the kids.
Yeah.
The kids are paying.
Yeah, you would have to buy a ticket to get to it.
But are you being like sponsored? Because I know there's some like dance marathons where it's like, I sponsor that you're going to dance for 2 hours straight. No. Okay.
No, you just pay. You pay your ticket and you're in.
You're paying for
You're
it.
locked in. You might be wondering like, why would a lot of students want to go to this like dance rave?
Definitely.
You have to be sober. The big appeal of Brave was that it was the one night every single year where you have the chance to hook up with everyone in the school that you did not normally see outside of school. Because I don't know if like, you remember high school, but like you hung out with your friend group and basically your friend group only.
Totally.
So, like, if there was a cute guy in a different friend group or in a different
might
grade,
as well be a stranger.
You're a stranger.
Totally.
But Brave, everyone was there. And everyone was on the table.
And like the vibe has been set. Like this is make out night. This is like you're allowed.
It is.
It's like Purge.
It's Diffmo Central. in a crazy way. Like, you would
Yeah.
start scouting your Brave options, like,
That's wild.
months in advance. And also, everyone looked so hot because it was also the one night of year where you could dress like a total slut on school grounds.
Because it's rave outfits.
Yeah,
and you're
exactly.
like, I'll push that.
So
I'll
you're
push that
you're
for
looking
sure.
the best and most revealing you've ever looked in front of all these other people that look gorgeous, and you're not shamed for it. Once you entered those doors, shame did not exist.
We're all brave.
It was
here.
Wild West laws. Not only would you, like, at any given point during the 7 hours be able to look around and see 3 different dance floor makeouts around you.
That's wild.
But, like, it was encouraged. We had this thing called hitting the cycle. And
I'm super scared.
it was really common, not shameful at all, to hook up with multiple people at Brave.
Bounce the fuck around.
Yeah, to bounce around. So hitting the cycle was when you hooked up with a freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior.
That's super wacky.
There was the pyramid.
Sorry.
Which was 1 freshman, 2 sophomores, 3 juniors, 4 seniors.
And people would do that. You would be able to do that.
I actually know one kid in my little sister's grade who did hit the pyramid.
I haven't made out with that many people in my life.
I didn't, like, ever go too crazy. I had to stay, like, sober the
'Cause you
entire
were
time because
student
I was
gov.
on the student government.
Yeah.
I had to be, like, interacting with, like, the leadership class teacher
Yeah.
throughout the night. But even then, I still, like, made out with at least 1 person every year. I think I peaked sophomore year with 2.
This is so insane. Hitting the cycle is one of the craziest things I've ever heard.
I know, the cycle is
Pyramid, I can't even, like, really fathom right now. I'm just still on cycle, which is insane to me. So the teachers were kind of like,
Yeah, I mean, there were too many of us.
too many. And I'm sure they're like, this is the appeal. This is how we're getting the
Yeah,
sales.
I think they were also like, we don't want to see this.
Yeah,
Like,
this is disgusting.
They weren't in the room, really.
Oh my
The
God.
teachers were like, we're bouncing. You might be wondering, like, it's so crazy that you're having so many diffmos when you're sober.
Yeah.
But people drank like Vikings.
Sure.
People drank like...
You get it in somehow.
Yeah, this is a very smart student body. We got
Yeah.
creative. And people drank so much that every year, I think the freshman year was my worst. There were 4 ambulances called for alcohol poisoning.
Oh my God.
And then,
How could your parents sort of still be like,
well, okay, because you'd think, like, how did parents not shut this down? Because not only
totally.
would kids be hospitalized every year, they would be suspended on top of that. And even if you weren't hospitalized, we had what was called the fallen soldiers.
The names are so crazy.
I know, it sounds so crazy to describe it, like, which was like the kids who got caught drinking every year.
Yeah.
And this is a very competitive school.
Yeah.
Academically, there was actually a book written about my high school called Overachievers,
Oh my
which
God.
is a nonfiction book about, like, the trend of overachieving, super highly academic, competitive
And so for
schools.
them to have, like, a suspension on their list, because this was probably
Well, also, remember,
brutal.
police were there at the beginning. So if you didn't pass the breathalyzer test, like, they were ready to cite you. Very
This
risky.
is a lot of risk. You have to
lot.
be brave. You have to go to Brave.
You gotta be brave.
Thank you, guys.
Be brave. But the thing is, we were kind of invincible because Brave raised tens of thousands of dollars
honestly
for Leukemia Lymphoma Society.
Mhm.
That money was, like, genuinely going to save people's lives.
Totally.
And you could say, like, oh, you could just throw other fundraising events, but we did. All
Yeah.
6 of them combined didn't make a fraction.
Totally.
And I don't think any parent and the administration were willing to be the bad guys.
To shut down the cancer-raising dance.
You would be taking money out of cancer patients'
hands.
and it would, like, lead to a loss of life.
For every Brave you
No.
shut down, there's 12 little kids with cancer.
No, exactly.
Dying.
And it was also on the administration's part, like, a really big point of pride for the school and the
Totally.
county and the state of being able to, like,
Totally.
raise so much money. Like, I think we got, like, national attention for it.
And for how, like, damaging it might be, it probably looks really good on college apps.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, yeah, it was part of, like, an organizing process
Yeah,
every
yeah.
year. Like, that's, like, probably something good.
Exactly.
Okay.
And the kids loved it. But things got out of hand.
Okay.
My junior year, a line was crossed.
Ooh.
That year, a kid got caught doing cocaine in the bathroom. And
Don't push it.
did you guys do drugs in high school?
My grade, no. The grade below me, super weirdos.
I know some people, like my college friends, that were like, oh yeah, like all the guys in my school like did coke. My high school was not druggy at all.
I don't think so either. Not that I would probably be the one that was invited. Like, to be honest, they probably could have been. But I remember hearing about the grade below me and they would call themselves Rexy, like sexy, but with an R. They were like, we're the Rexy grade. It was really weird. I don't know. I have no idea. It was like of the moment.
Rexy.
I don't know. They were Rexy. And then during capped testing days, they would all come in on time and be ripping lines off the toilets. I hear.
Sources say.
I wouldn't have been invited. I was doing Beauty and the Beast the musical at the time.
That happened. And then I myself, during cleanup one year, discovered something that shook me to my very core. I have photographic evidence of it. This is a photograph of me holding a condom that was found on the floor. And in the background, this is literally completely candid. Was like, my friend McKenna walked in at that exact moment, and that was the genuine shock. And this was the moment when I knew, like, things have gone too far.
Did you tattle it in?
No, but I did post it to Twitter, and I got in trouble for that. My leadership teacher was like, "You can't be posting those kinds of things."
What else? Like, not used.
Not used. Well, that's also
weirder.
Like, that's what's even weirder about it. Is that, like, why did you bring a condom?
Maybe he took it off pre-nut. Maybe
he
nutted in.
Why did you bring it out?
Just
and then
to not
why did you leave it on the ground?
I smell a bit of a prankster, perhaps. Maybe he was just acting like it was like people were porking around, but they weren't.
Trickster.
I think I smell Loki the trickster.
Yeah, a trickster, an impish. Yeah. Even like the like really popular jockey guys in my grade would be like, "No, I would never do cocaine."
Yeah.
That's when like things really crossed the line because now like both the administration and the parents had the moral authority to be like, we can take this away for the safety of the student body.
Definitely.
So me and my comrades at the student government had to go to the negotiating table because Brave was on the line.
And when also your senior year, you can't not have Brave senior year.
I needed one more chance to hit the cycle.
Give me a second. There's some hot freshmen I gotta look at.
Exactly. Well, that was also the thing about hitting the cycle is like it was really only doable your sophomore and junior year.
Yeah, because you have social status.
You can't do it as a senior or freshman.
You'd
That's
have to be
weird.
polling.
You'd have to be pulling or weird.
Or weird, yeah.
Yeah. So we had to go to the negotiating table, and when we came out, we had to make some big announcements. First one, Brave would now be from 7 to 11:30 p.m. This was not a school demand as much as it was me and my student government comrades not wanting to be there cleaning up.
Honestly. But you were like, they made us do that.
No, absolutely.
Guys, we tried everything.
We tried.
Shoot, guys.
The second announcement we made was a concession. Yeah. This was the big demand that the administration made. And that was that Brave would no longer be called Brave because they thought that having the word rave in it was encouraging people to drink. So now
you're like, okay, we're still gonna drink no matter if you called it.
So now it would be called Bike-a-thon. But, like, that was literally the one thing they wouldn't budge on. It cannot be Brave.
You're like, sure.
Which is, like, actually, we were really upset about it.
Really?
We were like, but it's the brand!
Because it has repercussions because you're like, the point was to look hot in rave gear.
Yeah, you still dress in, like, rave attire, but it was also, like, names... They can hold so much meaning. Like, when you said the word Brave at my school, like, it was...
we know what that is. And, like, Bike-a-thon is a bit dorky. It's a bit corny. And you're kind of like, the vibe's not exactly what Brave was.
No, it doesn't have the same kind of it factor as a name.
100%.
The last thing that we had to announce was that, like, if a single student was caught drinking at all this year, completely shut down for years to come. So we went in very tense because... we were dancing with bated breath. Yeah. We were all on a knife's edge because we were like, there's 1,000 kids here. Someone is going to fuck it up. There's going to be one asshole for sure.
Yeah, you can't blame them. It's going to be like, hey, we've drank every other year.
But in the end, I think the fear of social ostracization of like being the person who got Brave shut down was too much because that night, a community of 2,000 students came together.
Not a single ambulance?
And after years of many people suspended, drinking every year, hard drugs in the bathroom, not a single person was suspended or even caught drinking at all. And that is how we banded together as a community.
Oh my God.
To save Brave.
Bike-a-thon Brave. Wow.
And that's the lore on Brave.
Oh my God. Is it still going?
Surely it's still happening. Traditions like that can never die.
Even if it weren't there, it's in our minds.
Yeah, and for all the kids at Walt Whitman High School who are going to have Bike-a-thon this February, just know that I fought for you. And I fought for this.
Man, it is so fun. I loved that you were like, within those 7 hours, people would lose their minds because that's so real of the time. Like we did for church, I think we had to do a 20-hour fast or something. But it was 20 hours of not eating, which is like, you would have thought we were dead. Because in your mind, you're like, I've never done this before. So 7 hours, staying up one night, you're like, I'm Lord of the Flies at this point. I'm Lord of the Flies because I can't.
Lord of the Flies also because it's like, I've never been trapped like anywhere without escape. But it's also your school.
It's your school.
And it's at night.
Yeah. And you're attention seeking at that age.
Yeah.
So you are just kind of like, oh, we can't leave. We need to escape quick.
No, yeah. It was like,
I think it's
people
fine.
really started to lose their minds.
And you're like, sorry, being trapped 7 hours here is what we do every day. We're in school. The brain really tumbles through that. That is debaucherous. And I do think it's a really exciting little treat for some high overachieving kids. I do think they let you maybe get away with some of it too, because it's like, they're good. Let them make out.
I honestly think that's it, is like, actually, like, we were pretty good kids.
Yeah.
There were very few bad seeds.
Mm-hmm.
Bad eggs.
Yeah. Thank you, Bethesda, Maryland, for that drama. If I had to guess, there's still Vicaathon drama every year. There's probably, you could just tell a new story about Vicaathon every year. I'm sure. Oh, should we zoom out of Bethesda and go to some other drama across the nation?
Yes.
Okay. We have, Keara, a listener story here. Okay. This is coming to us from Orange City, Florida. Okay, Hi Town Gossip Pod. I'm writing in with a story from my hometown in Orange City, Florida. This story didn't personally happen to me. I love it. Gossipper.
I also love that it's like Orange City, Florida.
I know. They were just like, just come up with something.
Yeah, right? That sounds fake.
But she said it didn't happen to her. But it did happen to someone my parents loosely know. It's honestly wild to think about now that it's all coming back to me.
Okay.
It's a story about engagement. There was a man from my hometown, let's call him Mike, who proposed to his girlfriend, let's call her Jen. Jen is the woman that my family loosely knows.
Okay.
So this is coming to us from...
so this is actually, they know a first-hand
I guess they know the Jen. They know the Jen.
Oh, okay.
Okay, they met online, and if I remember correctly, they dated for a few years. After the proposal, Jen shared a photo of the engagement to Facebook, as you do.
As you do.
I'm not actually sure how this next part unfolded, but it turns out Mike had another girlfriend. Let's call her Amanda.
Mike.
Who somehow saw the Facebook engagement photo. So for starters, Mike is a cheater. But it gets so much worse. When Amanda zooms into the photo, she saw that Jen was wearing both her engagement and wedding ring that was given to her from her previous marriage.
What?
Oh.
He stole his mistress's engagement ring?
Mike had stolen these rings from Amanda along with some of her other jewelry and used it to propose to Jen. He's like still with Amanda. He's like, I have no idea where those went, as they're on the finger of Jen. Mike, hell. For you.
Mike, I'm going to put you in a jigsaw trap.
And you will be wrapped in jewelry trying to get your way out since you love it so much, Mike.
Since you love it so much.
You love
it will
rings.
Be a fitting metaphor or
if
something.
If you love rings, I want rings of fire. I want to coat you in there. Dante's Inferno with this.
Oh my God.
Mike, the brazenness of that is really exciting to me.
How do you think this house of cards will ever keep hold?
I know. Like, it's gonna come out.
It's just crazy that, like, people think that they can get away with it. Because it's like...
It's just, like, one day at a time, I guess. And you're like, today is good. She hasn't found out.
That's also the thing that is interesting about liars is, like, not only are they lying, which is crazy, but, like, their mind is twisted. Because any normal person would be like, of course I couldn't get away with that.
There's a knot in my stomach at the thought of that.
No.
So I couldn't possibly do it. But they're just like... And I'm sure... If I had to guess, no guilt. Mike was like, I needed jewelry, so I got jewelry.
Did she say what happens next?
Let's see, yes. Mike had stolen these rings from Amanda along with some of her other jewelry and used it to propose to Jen. So Amanda messaged Jen, who had no idea this was going on.
Wait, can we talk about that? He didn't just steal the engagement ring?
More jewelry. More jewelry.
Like, what, did he steal her hoops?
And used it to propose to Jen. He's like, I found more of this very specific style jewelry for you. And the two of them banded together. And then all this other stuff started coming out. Oh my God. Mike had brought Jen to Amanda's house, claiming it was his, and asked her to move in with him? Wait, what are you talking about, Mike?
Wait,
what
are you talking like this about? Has to be some kind of, like, premeditated mind game.
Mike,
because
do you get off on this?
What did he think was going to happen asking...
Mike, someone lives there.
Like, she's going to be there.
Mike, she's there.
She's not going to move out.
And then he's just like, that's my sister.
Oh
my God. Jen literally packed up her apartment to move before the whole thing got called off, and Mike went MIA. When he left, some of Jen's things had also mysteriously disappeared. And yes, it gets worse.
Mike.
Oh my God, you're gonna freak. Sorry. Mike had introduced himself to the girls with 2 different names.
Oh my God.
But when the police tried to look for him, no results came up under either of the names. Jen literally went full detective mode and remembered the name and address of Mike's niece. Yes, Jen.
Jen,
yes.
Thanks God.
I hate that this happened to you, but thank God it happened to you.
If she didn't find him, I would have.
Yeah, we would have. If this were not solved, I would make sure.
gone on
We're
a
not
Inigo
leaving.
Montoya revenge quest.
We are lock-in on this podcast
Yeah,
until
exactly.
we figure it out. We're losing our minds. We're here till 2 a.m. Address of Mike's niece, who actually turned out to be his sister.
That's not even like a lie you have to tell.
Mike, you're like ill with
Like
this.
you could just say that's your sister.
Well, maybe
Why?
because she has the same last name as his real name. I don't know.
Oh, the last name. That'll probably be it.
Right?
Yeah,
and so he's
'cause he
like,
has a
don't
different
look at
last
that name. Don't
Oh
look at
my
that one. That
God.
one's not mine.
Wow.
From this, they were able to identify Mike's real name and released his photos online as someone who was wanted by police. Yeah.
Yeah, I figured.
I think so. Turns out Mike was a convicted felon with numerous charges. One of them was for being in possession of a fake ID. Certainly.
Yeah,
Certainly that.
that makes sense.
Other one would be stealing a bunch of jewelry. I know he was on the run for a while, but I think
On the run? He was on the lam!
running around stealing hoops out of bags. He is
my God.
proposing to. I just think it's like, I do think a felon involving wanting a girl to get engaged and married to you and move in is kind of cute. He's like, I only steal and cheat so that I can
Because
marry
I
you.
want love.
I love you. I will
That's
love
true
you.
love.
I will love you, and I would do I'd go to jail for the opportunity for my 2 girls to get
It's
along.
also just like, you already, like, did you really need 2 girls, Mike? You're
I
lucky to have one.
totally.
You're lucky to have one.
And I do think it's interesting. Neither of those names was real, so he didn't use his real name with either. So he must have known he was gonna get another girl.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, it's not like he was like, oh, I'm all in on Amanda. That's my real name, and let me use a fake one for Jen.
The first thing a girl does is like, I'm looking this person up online. His charges.
100%. I know he's on the run for a while, but I think he did get arrested in the end, just for a cherry on top of the story, which it didn't need. It's all cherries.
That's
It's
crazy.
You gave me a whole bowl of them. A jail from one of his previous offenses released that he had an identifying tattoo on his arm that read, "Only God can judge me." Not true, Mike. I can too.
Only
I
God
can too.
judge me. Well, guess what? He
God-
does.
God might be
He
first in
does.
line, but you got a whole
Yeah.
other series of people behind you.
Oh my God.
Only God can judge me.
I wonder what font do you think the tattoo is in?
Gothic. What's the most annoying font?
Gothic, cursive.
Cursive would be
Cursive
really nice
Gothic.
too. This story just confirms I will be single forever. Thank you for listening to the craziness, and I hope it makes it
Oh
on
my
to the
God,
pod.
what's her name? The
Anonymous. Just
Anonymous,
in case.
you won't be single forever.
Anonymous. It is like, because sometimes I'm like, "Oh, why aren't I engaged?" And I am like, girl, I don't want that.
I'm perpetually single always. And I'm always like, where the hell are my friends finding these people? But then
Out of jail.
these people are finding them.
Oh my God. I love Facebook for that. I do think like some of these social medias we have to keep intact, because if there's anywhere that's going to expose a hometown cheater, it's Facebook.
Reddit and Facebook
Reddit
are
and
the
Facebook.
best
Yep.
for gossip.
I don't always
Yeah.
trust Instagram for opening up a cheater's life. Facebook, they'll get you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so insane. And he lived with Amanda and then told Jen to move in is one of the best things in the world.
Honestly,
I love that.
I'd be so fucking pissed at him. Purely because, for a lot of reasons, but also because, like, I would have been so excited to have a wedding. I'd be like,
I
finally! Or, like,
know.
open up my binder.
I
And I'd be so pissed
know.
to be like, God damn it! Like, to have to call the
Unfortunately.
florist and be like, never mind!
He
I would have
wasn't real.
I would have hunted him down,
Oh,
taken Liam Neeson style.
yes. I really hope Jen and Amanda are gal pals right now.
I really hope that you guys have recovered.
Yeah, I kind of hope you're both lesbians together. I think that would be a really good end to this. If Jen and Amanda, if you do move in, Amanda. Jen, move in.
Jen,
Move in. Keep it going.
move in.
Move in. What do you have to lose? Come on. Okay, that's Orange City, Florida.
That's Orange City, Florida.
I have to ask, should we move to Orange City, Florida? Let's do the pros and cons here.
Okay.
Pros, love is afoot. Love is in the air.
There are the con.
There
the
are
actual
convicts.
con. The convict.
Pros and convicts.
Crazy people. This is part of Florida's
I
brand
know.
of, like, there's something in the water over there. Makes people a little kooky.
Yeah, the pros.
The pros.
Beautiful jewelry.
And also, I do respect a community that is willing
100%.
to dish
Girls.
their gossip online.
Oh, that too.
I really love the fact that they were posting this publicly on Facebook for the
100%.
entire town to see.
100%.
I that is kind of the community spirit that I look for in a place.
I'm saying yes. I'm moving. Vacation house?
Vacation house.
We're doing a vacation house in Orange
I'll have a
City.
timeshare, yeah.
Let's talk Bethesda. You're coming to Bethesda. I'm here on a vacay. I'm saying, girl, it's my bachelorette. I just got engaged to Mike. I need to go to Bethesda. What are some hometown highs? It's like, oh, hit that while you're in Bethesda.
Well, okay, one thing we did every homecoming,
Yeah.
which was really fun, is like, so you would get with your homecoming group, you would take photos.
Yep.
You would have dinner, and then after dinner, before going to the dance and after
Yeah.
party, you would go to the Lincoln Memorial.
Pay your respects.
Everyone drunk as hell
Yeah.
would take pictures on the Lincoln Memorial.
Yeah.
It was just this thing you did, and it was so fun because you got to see everyone in
Yeah.
the grade there. It was kind of like another...
That's where you meet up.
Yeah, exactly. The meetup spot was
Yeah.
the Lincoln Memorial.
Yeah, until you found a condom and you were like, this place isn't fun anymore.
And I was like, it's gone too
This
far.
is a wash. I don't want to be
Um,
here.
We also have Georgetown Cupcakes in Bethesda.
Oh, sure.
And also in DC.
I've
This
seen
is
the Food Network. I know what's
Oh,
up
yes,
with
it
those.
has a show.
I know what's up.
Oh,
Those are hometown highs.
Hometown
Perfect.
highs, hometown lows.
Hometown lows. If I'm going to Bethesda, might want to skip this one.
I don't think there's any like good bar to go out
Yeah.
in Bethesda proper.
I have that with my hometown where it's like, none of them's perfect. They're far from
Yeah.
it. But you make do with what you got.
Going out in DC is like normal, but it's
Yeah.
like all people
Government
who
bros.
work in DC. Like the young people are all like Capitol Hill
Yeah.
aides.
Yeah.
So it's kind of that, but kind of a weird vibe.
Okay.
The one thing we had on Bethesda Row was a very scary looking tunnel. And I'm not going to say the name of it. I don't think I can because it had a kind of like it had an offensive name.
Oh, God.
But it was
Cashew Tunnel.
no. If you are from Bethesda, Maryland, you'll know of what tunnel I
Great.
speak because there was a very scary looking above ground tunnel that you did not want to walk
Obsessed.
through.
Obsessed.
And bad things could happen to you in that tunnel.
Ooh, lore.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. I'll just leave it at that.
Amazing. Okay, I am officially not moving to Bethesda, Maryland. I'm gonna wrap some stuff up here, and then I'm going to Orange City. You
Orange
understand?
City?
You
Are you
understand?
going to Orange
You
City?
understand.
Do you like crab?
My hot take with crab is that I find that what you're actually eating is the Old Bay seasoning, and that's what you're liking.
Not in Maryland. You haven't had a Chesapeake Bay blue crab, baby.
I haven't. Send some to our P.O. box. Blue crabs live.
This one's for crab country.
This one's for Crab Country. Keara, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being from Bethesda. Thank you for coming out here. Thank you for being so funny. Everyone, follow Keara all the places she can be followed.
It's Super Keara on everything.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you,
for
Town
having
Gossip
me.
listeners. We'll see you next week.
Hey everybody, thank you for listening to this episode of Town Gossip. Be sure to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. Follow us on Instagram at Town Gossip Podcast and TikTok at Town Gossip. And if you have any town gossip from your hometown, email us at towngossippodcast@gmail.com for a chance to be featured.